everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie Journals. Today I'm going to be setting up my bullet journal for the month of October. This month's theme is going to be camping theme with light greens. I have reds and also a salmon colored pink. Here are a few things I'll be using. My favorite Pilot G2 gel pen, this pink color in a crayola super tip, a red, a lighter, darker green, and then also a brown that's very light. I'll also be using a Micron 01 fine liner and a fine liner from Tombow USA that's in the size 03. Originally found a picture on Pinterest that I really enjoyed, and it was the same picture that I'm going to be sketching out now, which is just a straight line with some 2D trees, a little campsite with a campfire, and then there's also mountains in the background. I used this as inspiration for my theme. I picked out a few colors that seemed pretty and would go well with my theme, so here it is. As a quick side note, I recently broke my tripod and I am in the works of getting a new one, but in the meantime I have a lot of different weird angles that I'm going to be using throughout the setup, so just bear with me till the next setup when I get a new tripod. The cover page is almost done. One thing I wanted to add was a calendar in the center. So underneath the word October, I ended up writing a calendar underneath, and it makes it seem a little bit more full and more minimalist. The next spread that I'm making is called a mood board. I got this inspiration from a journalist on Instagram. I don't quite remember her name, but remember to follow me on Instagram while we're talking about this subject. Anyway, what she put together was called a mood board, and it was a bunch of pictures she found on Pinterest and Google, and it just helped her stay inspired for her theme. This next spread I'm making is a monthly calendar page. I decided to do the one-page monthly spread with rounded edges, and I think it went well with the color palette I did at the top of the page, along with some quotes, and I also did a section for the events. Down below, I am doodling another forest scene similar to the one on the cover page, except this one, instead of having a tent, has an RV and has mountains in the background instead of just trees and the moon. After I'm done with that, I am moving on to the next page, which is going to be a bunch of boxes that I'm going to turn into a YouTube, Instagram, tasks, and goals sections. This one I didn't actually plan on doing because I ended up mixing up all the pages in my spread. So originally I was going to do the cover page on the right side of the page instead of the left. The mood board was going to be on the left side and the calendar was going to be on the right side. So with this empty space here, I decided to use it for 4 boxes and putting down my Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. I've recently been finding that I love having enough space to write all that stuff down, and yeah. You may notice that all of the font I use in this is kind of a calligraphy font, but instead of connecting all the words in cursive, I just left them separate. And every time I do lettering like that, I use brown, and one time I used a green. And I think this gives it a really pretty look and really makes it all fit together. Coming up is a really fast time lapse, so I wanted to talk about it a little bit before it comes up. I'm going to be making 2 additional spreads. One is new to me this month. I figured it out from Papery Thoughts. I'll make sure to link her YouTube channel down below. But she does a large calendar spread and then does 1 doodle each day. And I wanted to try this out this month, and I'm not doing any habit trackers or mood trackers this month. I decided I want to try to do those in my weeklies instead. So instead of doing my habits and mood, I'm doing this 1 line a day or 1 doodle a day tracker. Simply, you just doodle 1 thing in each box. And the next page is my classic brain dump. I can never live without this. It is the most essential spread in my bullet journal, and that will be the end of my setup. Thank you so much for watching. I'll make sure to link my Instagram in the description down below, along with everything else that I've mentioned in this setup. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. I post a lot of homeschool content, so if you want to make sure to check all of that out in the cards.